Hello, I'm Storm Teammate Meteorologist Bill Steffen. Boy, what a weekend we had here. Temperatures Sunday were about 20 degrees cooler than they were during the day on Saturday. And the cool air is going to stick around here for a little bit. Happy Monday, by the way. Here's a look at Sunday's high temperatures. Ionia and Coldwater topping the list at 46, Grand Rapids with a high of 44. And you can see down on the bottom, temperatures up to the north were a little cooler, never got out of the 30s Sunday afternoon at Cadillac. And we had a pretty stiff wind, west-northwest, and that dropped the wind chill, or feels like, temperatures down into the upper 20s. Picture shows the ice rink, the new ice rink, which is just opening up now in Holland. You might want to check that out. It's really neat. They've had some updates on that. I saw the old Zamboni out there freshening up the ice during the day. So yeah, check that out over in the Holland area. Kind of a fun thing to do here during the winter time. All right, let's take a look at our climate information here for the day today. 7:37 is our sunrise. 5:17 is sunset, and sunset occurs when the last tip of the sun disappears over a flat society. And it's pretty dark here by around 5:45 in the evening. Average low temperature has now hit 32 degrees, so every other night we should see temperatures down around freezing. Record high temperature 70 set twice in the 1950s, and the record low temperature 11 also set in the 1950s. And you can see the picture there showing the beach at Holland, the way it looked here Sunday afternoon. Not many people there, and it was a breezy day, so some of those waves crashing there, people were not walking up and down the boardwalks and the right by the water, some of the break walls and piers there. Okay, on we go. Let's take a look at the lake forecast for the day today. A little choppy out there yet. Waves should be around 3 to 7 feet. The picture there is from the South Haven Channel Sunday afternoon, and you can see a big wave coming up there and splashing over that wall. So again, not a good idea to be walking out there. You're going to get wet at the very least. The Holland and Reeds Lake temperatures each dropped a degree on Sunday after they went up a degree on Saturday with the warmer air there. Winds today continue out of the west. Temperatures will probably be a couple degrees cooler right at the lake during the afternoon. Boy, excuse me. Been eating some trail mix here. All right, let's move on and take a look at the moon. If you've been up early in the morning here, you've seen a crescent moon off in the eastern sky here, and it's a very, very, very thin crescent here today. Only about 4 or 5% of the moon's disk would be illuminated by the sun. So you can see if you can spot that shortly before sunrise off to the east. And then the moon will go dark for a day or two. That's called a new moon. And it will then reappear in the western sky here during the evening hours. Okay, we'll go on to our next picture here and show you 66-hour precipitation. And a good portion of the country seeing either rain or, in the northern areas, some snow. It continues to rain out in California, and we got some rainfall totals to share with you on that here in just a minute. But look at the rain in parts of Arizona, the higher elevations to the northeast of Phoenix, picking up a couple of inches of rain. It rained in Las Vegas. And you can see some rain off to the south of us in the Ohio River Valley, where there could be a thunder shower. And up across Michigan, a good portion of the area will be basically dry here for the next several days after we get done with a little bit of snow off to the north here early today. Okay, on we go. Let's take a look at the rainfall amounts from out west. And boy, they really had a soaking out here. You can read some of the rainfall totals here. Oxnard is where the National Weather Service office is for Los Angeles. And they had 3.24 inches of rain in 24 hours. Lake Arrowhead with 4 inches. There were a couple spots that had 6 inches of rain in 24 hours. San Diego with 1.36 inches, and Palm Springs out in the desert had an inch of rain. So pretty amazing storm systems that have been coming on shore here into California. Those, of course, have been, for the most part, missing us. Taking a look at the severe weather and rainfall expectations here. First of all, let's go with the snow map. That's coming up next here. And again, heavy snow is falling in the Sierra Nevada mountains here. Over a week's time, a couple spots there could see 6 feet of snow. There'll be snow up in the Grand Tetons and some of the ski areas of Colorado already picking up snow. And you can see a little bit of snow in Michigan, too. Let's see if we can zoom in to Michigan and show you what's going on there. Just a very tiny amount of rain and snow mix is possible here during the day on Tuesday. Well under 1/10 of an inch, wouldn't amount to much of anything. And a couple, 3 spots off to the north seeing an inch or 2 of snow. That includes the area west of Sault Ste. Marie, northwest of Mackinac Island, and also in just to the northwest of Houghton Lake, southwest of Gaylord, and also over toward Alpena. Temperatures are relatively warm, though, so much of that melting as it falls. But a couple spots up there are already picked up an inch and a half or so, and that may continue here briefly for today. Taking a look at the there were 5 counties that were under a winter weather advisory overnight tonight. So anybody early morning here that's driving up to Alpena, Rogers City, Newberry, along I-75, St. Ignace, going north towards Sault Ste. Marie, you might spot some snow, especially on the grass there. I would expect the main roads would just be wet. But winter weather advisory will be canceled here during the morning. All right, we move on and take a look at storm reports. We had one of them, that's all. One storm report. One severe weather report came into us from San Juan Capistrano, California. And you can see the report down there at the bottom. San Juan Capistrano is where the swallows return every spring on St. Joseph's Day, March the 19th. And it's one of the phenomenon of nature that you have a migration like that, where the swallows leave. I forget the date now. Is it September or October? And then they fly south, I think all the way to South America. And then they return during the spring to San Juan Capistrano, California. There was actually a Bugs Bunny cartoon where he used to sing about that. All right, severe weather today. There won't be any severe weather, but the map does show a scattering of thunder showers from the high plains there into Illinois and Indiana. That should all stay southwest of Michigan. A few more thunder showers possible in California and Arizona as well. And then for Tuesday, a fairly large area forecast to see a chance of a thunder shower, but not severe. This runs not only from Arizona there, but from Texas all the way up through the Ohio River areas there as well. So very interesting to still see some thunder showers going on here over a fairly large area. Headlines, let's go to that next. Partly to mostly sunny skies expected today. There'll be a chance of a little light mix of rain and snow on Tuesday. Chance of rain Thursday and Friday. That's a little better chance of rain. And it will continue to be cool with temperatures this week just a touch below average for this time of year. Mainly readings in the low to mid 50s. Along about Thursday, we may warm back up to 50 or so, but no more 60s like we had here over the weekend. Let's take a look then at what we expect here for the day today. We're looking for high temperatures in the low to mid 40s during the afternoon. Readings should be pretty uniform throughout much of the area, and the high temperatures will show that. And we'll be seeing a rather brisk west wind during the afternoon at around 15 miles an hour. Humidity levels will be dropping to around 50 to 55% or so during the afternoon hours. But all in all, it shouldn't be too bad a day here with partly to mostly sunny skies. So let's take a look at the specifics of that for everybody. 44 degrees, 28 degrees on the low, and we'll call it mostly sunny, though it may turn out to be partly cloudy. Winds west at 10 to 15 miles an hour. The high temperature map looks like this. We'll be able to show you that low to mid 40s will be pretty common across the southern part of the lower peninsula. As you go north, it'll be cooler. Look at Gaylord with a high of just 35 today. 39 in Alpena would melt any snow that they have up there, and it'll be mainly in the 30s up across the UP during the day today. A little warmer to the south, 48 today for Chicago. Taking a look at the Tuesday high temperatures, just a touch different, a little cooler. 44 Chicago, we're in the upper 30s here in the Grand Rapids area down to Kalamazoo. And if you look up toward the UP, temperatures are pretty much the same. Upper 30s, maybe an isolated 40-degree temperature up there, just a couple degrees cooler than average for this time of year. Okay, our 5-day forecast looks like this. We'll be showing you partly to mostly sunny skies today. Chilly day on Tuesday. Temperatures will only be in the mid-30s in the afternoon with about a 50-60% chance of a little light mix. If you were to get any snow, that would melt on the roads as it falls. We'll call it mostly cloudy on Wednesday, but probably dry. And a good bet, a little better than 50-50 that we'll see scattered showers here Thursday and Friday. Thursday's temperature here at 50. Wednesday, we're back to 43. So the coolest day of the week would be Tuesday, and the warmest Thursday and Friday. The 8 to 14-day outlook calls for temperatures to continue to be a little bit warmer than average, but that cool pattern from out in the west is encroaching now into the plain states, and I think that will continue to move east toward the state of Michigan. So toward the end of that period, maybe around November 29 and 30, we can look for colder air to move on here, and maybe a little bit more in the way of snow that period as well. And then the rainfall outlook or the precipitation outlook, again, much of the country showing up green, indicating that we'll be seeing temperatures here on the cool side and lots of clouds and a rather showery pattern over much of the central U.S. All right, let's take a look at some fun stuff here for today, courtesy of Alex and Michelle working at the airport this evening. On November 17th, 2003, he became the governor of California. He was from Austria, I believe, and Arnold Schwarzenegger is who we're looking for here, I bet. Let's go on to the next slide and see if that is the case. The governor, not the Terminator, looking pretty good in that picture. He's getting old now. He's approaching 70, if I imagine right, but he was governor of California for a while. All right, let's go on to the next slide for you here and see what else we got. On November 17, 2005, Kmart bought out Sears Roebuck and Company. Despite efforts to keep the struggling retailers alive, Sears Holdings filed for bankruptcy in 2018. And I don't know if is there Sears still available here in the Grand Rapids area. I'm not sure if there is anybody using that name. It certainly was a famous name, Sears Roebuck, for many years with the catalogs. I got a catalog in the mail from Montgomery Ward. So they are still around. The last Kmart in Michigan, located in Marshall, which is a town we highlight once in a while here, closed in 2021. So Kmart started out as Kresge's in 1899. The first full-size Kmart store was in Garden City, Michigan in 1962. And it grew from there. Anybody remember the blue light specials? You'd be sitting there in Kmart and they would actually have a blue flashing light that they would position somewhere where there was a very temporary sale on a particular item. And I remember one time we were in Florida and it was a really nice day and we were going to go to the beach and all that. And my mother had to stop at Kmart to see if there were any blue light specials. So that was a big deal back then. Okay, let's go on and see what else we have for you here. Some pictures from John Meppelink, Zephyr Hills, Florida. You can see the palm trees there. They've had some wonderful weather down there of late. A lot of days with temperatures in the 70s and 80s. You can see those puffy summer-like cumulus clouds made up of little tiny drops of water. It's been very, very pleasant several years down there. They haven't had too many really cold nights, so anybody that's a snowbird has enjoyed their time down there in Florida. I got a couple of buddies down there that have been after me to come down there and join them. A lot of stuff you can do down there in the villages where both of them are located. All right, on to the next picture here for you. This is from Bernie Engels, and it looks like a summertime thunderstorm with an anvil coming up, and you can see the puffy clouds in the foreground there, just mountains of cumulus and towering cumulus clouds there. Once they get that little fibrous top, then they start producing more in the way of rain. So a very interesting picture there. You can see looks like the leaves are still on the trees there, unless those are conifer trees, lower center area there. But neat picture. Thank you, Bernie. On we go to John Doherty, who's got a picture of the moon that's better than the one that I show. The pictures that I show are from NASA, and they give you a daily picture of what the moon looks like. And it'll even give you on the date how much um, of the moons is visible. And right now we're only running about 7-8%. And so all you see is a very thin crescent, and the sun and moon would be if closer together, so a little bit harder to see here as we approach what's called new moon, where the moon is essentially unable to be seen with the naked eye. Thanks, John. And up next, we have another picture here for you. This one from John Scully. You can see a scattering of clouds. This is close to sunrise or sunset, where the sun is shining and illuminating the bottom of the clouds a little bit there. Look at the leaves off the trees. I was driving through Alpine Township today, and every now and then you can see a tree with leaves on it. And it's basically leaves that are kind of brownish and dried. It's interesting when I was watching some of the leaves change color in my backyard here, and they're yellow on the trees, they fall yellow to the ground, and they stay yellow on the ground for a day or two before they start turning kind of a tannish color and then ultimately to brown. So it's a fairly quick change over just a couple of days, the color situation there. All right, thanks, John. Let's see if we have another one for you or if we are done for the day. Oh dear, look at that. It is firearm deer season, and I don't think I've mentioned that so far. Firearm deer season runs from November 15 to the 30th. I was talking with daughter number 2 today because she's been either hit by a deer or she has hit a deer, I think 3 times in her driving career, including one time where she was just parked and the deer just came out and ran right into her car. Bonk, and then just ran away. But a lot of deer on the run here at this time of year. And we thank you, John, for that picture. A lot of deer processing going on at the current time. Now, do we have any other pictures here? Just me with the snow, the usual picture that I end with here, July 22. Just to the south of, or just to the north of Lake Louise, to the south of Jasper in Alberta, right by the Columbian ice field that you have up there at the glacier coming on down. I had a nice big drink that day of glacier water. It was, I don't know if that is any more healthy than regular water that I get from Plainfield Township, but it was fun nonetheless. Thank you so much for staying with us here until the end. I hope you have yourself an awesome day today. Talk to you again tomorrow.